Can't stop me now, you can't stop me. Can't stop me now, you can't stop me. Need I remind you in case you forgot? You know I'm coming for that number one spot. Yeah, I can't be stopped. You know it's levels to it. Yeah, the only way to do it is to do it. Yeah, need I remind you in case you forgot? You know I'm coming for that number one spot. Yeah, I can't be stopped.
What up?
Man, went right in.
We like to come in hot here. So what's up, man? How you been?
Dude, I'm great. I just want to say, dude, that is so awesome. It makes me think of like, I don't know, man. I almost had it, but that intro, all your little cartoons and everything, dude, that is so cool, dude. It's like combination of Pee-wee's Playhouse or something. I don't know what it is, dude, but there's like a noise that it made. I'm like, dude, that made me feel so nostalgic, man.
We need to work on maybe making a real claymation one. You know, we could have it like the camera come panning in past all the claymation guys.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know?
show you riding a bike up to the house or whatever in the intro.
I got a pogo ball. We could do the pogo ball.
I would want to watch that. That would be fun.
Hi, my name's Mikey, and I am here with Chris, the world famous CWR2, and also known for his Planet of the Tapes content. What up, brother?
What's up? I don't know if I'm world famous, but anyway, not as famous as your last guest, dude. I just got done watching that, and that was pretty awesome, man. I felt kind of awkward sending you my little game setup or my little room setup.
I mean, Mondo's a powerhouse, but you're up there too, and I have the proof. I have the proof in the punch right here. Let me bring this in here. All right, sorry, it's loading in.
Yeah, no, it's all now. This is gonna look like some found footage. I couldn't get the lighting right, and it looked fine on my phone because I did it super janky. Oh, look at that!
All right, this guy says he's not a big deal. But let's take a look at the facts that that are in existence here. 43K followers on what is that, Instagram?
Yeah, that's the Instagram.
I mean, what's your secret? What are you doing? Because I mean, I've been putting in work, but I feel like you put in just a little bit more.
I'll be honest, man. I had probably about 8,000 or 9,000 followers, something like that, and then they started pushing the reels, and I hit a couple of viral videos, and that's really the key to amassing a bunch of followers. But I mean, in all honesty, dude, there's people who would wake up. There's little kids who wake up and show the lamest videos, and they got 1 million followers. So it's small potatoes, man, but it's fun.
I mean,
I enjoy it.
Do you think those followers are going to follow them throughout their career, or do you think that'll be temporary? I feel like you're building a trust with your fans. And you're going to have people that follow you many years to come. So I think this is just the start of it.
Well, I hope so, man. I mean, I'm just a collector, just like most of the people who follow me. And we collect different stuff. I mean, throughout the years, video games and VHS, and got toy collectors. I got shoe guys. There's a lot of people who we all have very similar hobbies. So it's easy to see the appeal in each other's collections.
Well, put it this way. If I was assembling a VHS Justice League, you would be on my team.
All
I
right.
have my team in mind, and you would be on it. So it'd be like you, Mondo Video, Lunch Meat, my buddy Rob, Captain Adam. Like, I feel like I would have the dankest Justice League on the planet.
Yeah, I'd be like the Apache Chief or something, like the one that didn't come out, I wasn't in every episode, but I would have like 2 or 3 appearances throughout the season.
Dude, I wish I would have had, how you send me all those sound effects for Super Friends. I wish I would have had that for your Apache Chief comment.
Yeah, I love the Super Friends sound effects, man. That stuff's gold.
All right. So you've got a lot of Instagram followers. Your Instagram is already big enough. If that was your only claim to fame, that'd be great, right? But no, you take it a step further. This guy launches another brand, Planet of the Tapes, and gets 73K followers on TikTok. What are you doing, man?
Well, it all comes down to just getting lucky, dude. You know how the algorithm works, man. There's some people out there who put out like you, dude, the quality of your videos blow away anything that I record. And
No.
it's just about catching traction, dude. You know, you just got to get lucky. That's all it is, man.
What you make's just a different vibe, and I feel like it's just easier to consume. There's this thing called being too loud, and I feel like I'm not just verbally but visually too loud sometimes. And when you make a video, like, I don't know, I stop what I'm doing, and I can't pay attention. I
Yeah.
stop what I'm doing and I watch it. I might get to it a little later, but
Right.
when I finally watch it, I get absorbed in that world. I love all the stuff you do.
Well, I appreciate it, man. And I have to give credit to a lot of the commercial creators from back in the 80s and the 90s and stuff, because, some of the stuff that I think draws in, there's people who only like me for some of the commercials I'll find on old tapes. And I'm not saying I'm the only one doing this, by the way, but, people do it differently. Some people rip them and just put it up like normal, but I like to show it in the TV. I like to kind of show the equipment, because to me, that's what I like to look at. And, maybe that's kind of what draws in some people. But, I'm just a collector, man. I just enjoy it. I enjoy digging through these tapes. I enjoy collecting tapes. I enjoy, collecting games and playing them and everything. Matter of fact, I just got my Zelda game in here. And as soon as we get off, I'm going to be popping this up here a little bit later. I'm going to do all, I'll make my little post about it later and get, it's humbling though, every now and then, dude. You can put up something and get like 40 likes. Not that it matters, because I really don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it's just for fun anyway. I mean, yeah, there is a little bit of money that comes in from it, but if I was doing it for the money, dude, it would be less than welfare. You know what I mean? Like,
you're saying like 40 likes, man, that's big time in my world. I get 40 likes. I'm riding around on my bike, dancing around, hitting my heels together, getting on my pony, riding around. Like, I feel like Paul Revere. I'm just so excited.
Where did you get that?
This was a gift from a friend of mine who she knows I'm really fidgety, and she knew I would also ride around the neighborhood with this. So she's like, let's give you something so you don't fidget all the time. And now when I feel like fidgeting, I just hold on to this bad dog here. And if you're why a fidget spinner? That's not cool. You can't ride a fidget spinner. So I just like to fidget with this guy.
That's like your Skeletor staff. You know what I mean?
Well, when I do shirts like Nightmare Christie down the road, maybe I could have, I can make sure I put my unicorn in there somewhere.
Hey, just a couple of guys saying some nice things in the chat. Just let you know, I don't want to cut off Mikey, but thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry about Scott's. It sounds like you're having some audio issues. Appreciate you stopping in, man. And think that's Antone down there. I appreciate the follow, bro. Thank you. And my buddy Matt and Bill are in the chat. So that's always cool to see your friends when they show up.
See, this is why you don't talk shit about other creators, because Mondo video's in chat. And I'm glad we had nothing but words.
Dude, I love this setup, man. Like, I was watching it earlier and I was like, oh, dude, I've seen that video before. Lunch Meat shared it a few years ago, I think it was. Or maybe it was the last year. I don't know. You know how time works. Our timeline's messed up. It could have been last month for all I know. But I watched that and I was like, dude, that is so dope. That's a fantasy for a lot of us collectors, man, to be able to, to have like I have a dedicated room, and this room is probably like one of the little sections in Mondo's setup, man. But it's pretty awesome, man.
Well, everybody, I feel like their space represents a little bit of their personality, and that represents Mondo's larger than life personality.
Yeah, for sure.
But you, the deal man, the guy who goes out, gets those big old deals everywhere you go. I mean, when I think of a deal man or a deal man, I think of you.
No, dude, I really enjoy the haggle. Some people get uptight. To me, that gets my blood pumping, dude. I love it. I love it when someone says, make me an offer, or they'll throw out a number, and then I'll start. Just like yesterday, I went into this thrift store, and there was this little RCA TV, and I was thinking about just maybe, I probably don't want to keep it, but I hate to see it just rot in the store. So, I asked him how much he wanted. He was pretty firm at first. He wanted $20. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I just started chatting him up. Like, we started chatting, started talking about things, talking about his store, talking about his pickups. And then then I hit him with a number. I'm like, how about $10, man? And he's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. You know what I mean? But I like that. I know it was building up in my mind. I know it was getting to that point where I was going to hit him up. And I figured he was going to counter for 15, but he took it, and I just enjoy it, man. It's fun, dude. And you go ahead. No, I was to say, you find so much stuff out there when you're digging around, things that you didn't know existed, right? Like me and you are from about the same age, from the same time. And you remember Photo Matt, right? That place where your parents, my parents would drop off film, or even grandparents, those little tiny booths that would be in a parking lot.
Oh, like people that had family memories that they wanted to share.
Yeah, exactly. Not my family per se, because they didn't document anything. But
we drove right past that as much as possible.
But we would see it. It was, there was this little thing over there. But they had a videotape line at one point, and I didn't even know that existed. And so one day I'm looking through an offer up, or no, it was a Facebook Marketplace, and this lady had all this Disney stuff, and I kind of narrowed. I went, don't always stop. If there's multiple pictures, here's a tip. Even if the first picture is garbage, keep swiping, because it started off with all your basic Black Diamond crap. You know what I mean? I swiped to the next one. And of course, it was all Disney again. I look, and there was a clamshell Exorcist in there, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get that. So I go to her place to pick it up, and she had a big box, and she pulls out the box, and I start digging. I grab the Exorcist, and then I tell her before I leave, I was like, hey, if you get any more, let me know. She goes, okay, cool, I will. I barely get home. She says, hey, you know what? I found another box. If you want to come by tomorrow and pick it up, here's the picture. And right on the front, man, like on the top, there was this little bad boy sitting here, right? And I was like, Photo Matt, I never even knew that they had their own line. So it's the Bad News Bears, which is a killer movie to begin with. And these are pretty collectible. They're kind of pricey on eBay and everything. Not maybe necessarily this particular movie, but just these in general. And you want to pop that back? There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. And anyway, so that was pretty cool. And then I just happened to glance down in the picture, and then I just noticed this. Look at this bad boy right here. Now, a lot of people have the thing. It's not hard to find, but you get this first print action going here with the little stereo stripe and everything. Got that rainbow logo. Dude, I was so happy. And I couldn't get back there fast enough. She only wanted $10 for the box.
That's in great condition, too.
Yeah, dude. And it's, again, man, it just comes down to, like, just looking a little bit, right? Like if I would have just clicked off with the Disney stuff, some other scumbag would have found this stuff. You know what I mean? But that was a fun score.
Man, okay. Like, all right, you got to know this about Chris. He'll call me and be like, oh, I found some cool stuff. And I'm like, oh, what did you find? He'll be like, only the greatest thing in the world, like the very first VCR that ever existed.
Well, in the United States.
In the United States.
Yeah, it's the RCA. I forget I got the model number written down, but it basically, if you flip it around on the back side of that, it shows it was built in 1977. It's got the release date on it. And it works, but it needs a little bit of work. Like it won't play tapes though. It starts to play and then it stops. So it probably needs some, a lot of people will think a belt. There's also this little bulb in there, which seems to be working too, but it just needs a little TLC. But the truth of the matter is, even if it worked 100%, it's not likely to be the VCR I would use. You know what I mean? Because it's not going to be it's probably like one head, you know what I mean? But
I'd be scared to use it 100%. Like the little light behind it already, I'm amazed that works. Did that come working?
Yeah, the light's working. Everything is fast forwards, it rewinds, it ejects, it does all the things that you expect it to do. But when you put the tape in, it'll play a little bit and it'll just stop. I mean, it's probably an easy fix for someone who knows what they're doing. That is not me. I do have a good friend, Al, who's repaired a few of my stuff before. I haven't asked him yet because the guy's got a new job and he's super busy all the time. But maybe one day I'll pay him or sweet talk him or something and see if he'll work on it. But I just love it, man. And the way it looked when I got it, it was so filthy. And this was at this large estate sale. And it was kind of like a storage hoarder house. They didn't actually still live there, I don't think. They just stored a bunch of stuff, but there was so much random stuff there. It was like, I don't know, swap meet items and new old stuff. Like I bought a bunch of pillows, but they were like brand new, like expensive pillows, dude. But they were still brand new in the plastic, but they were vintage, like, well, not vintage, but like 1998 Macy's, and like was like, what the hell?
Were these body pillows like big anime body pillows?
No, I mean, it was just like feather pillows, like stuff that you would spend like $200 on or $150 on. But anyway, so that was some of the crap I was getting, and then I thought, I need to go through one more time. And I went through, and there this beautiful VCR was just sitting there on the ground, and it was filthy. But I looked at it, I was like, you know what, that can clean up. And I told him, I was like, I know this doesn't work, but I mean, what do you want for it? He goes, I don't know, $5. And I'm like, you got it. Swooped it up.
I wish I could show my friend Jelly Dog this thing. This thing's pretty cool. She's off in Colorado right now, enjoying delicious Mexican food as we speak. It's unfair, but I just want to. So Jimmy of the Sea mentioned your dials, and before I forgot, I wanted to mention them as well. That is gorgeous. I just want to click them. You just click them for fun every now and again.
Yeah, I'm clicking them now, but I don't think it's going to pick up on the audio.
No, I can hear that. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's very. Here, let me get closer. Here, I'll put the mic on it.
I don't know. There's just something special about that, and I don't know what it is.
And they feel sturdy, man. Like when I have a big old knob TV as well. It's a Gold Star, which was the precursor to LG. Before LG, they switched their name. They rebranded as LG. And just turning the channels, man, takes me back to my childhood. We had an old, it was a Sharp TV that had knobs on it. And I don't know, man. There's just something about clicking. My dad would get mad if I went too fast. Oh, you're going too fast. You're going to break the TV. But that's what you did back then. You used to whip it to get to the other channel,
My Uncle Tony, he had an old remote. It only had 4 buttons for the 4 channels. Yeah. And he called it his clicker. And I always
because they clicked.
He's like, you got my clicker. I'm like,
well, the original remotes, they didn't look like stuff like this. They were big, like analog looking buttons. Damn it, I actually have one over there. I can't.
Oh, I know you do. You have everything. That's the thing about you.
But it'll click, man. It makes a clicking noise, and it was a different. It's a different technology too. Like this is, I think, RF or something, and the other thing is, I don't know. It's more like, whatever a CV works on or some shit. I could be wrong about that.
I have no. I'm just going to nod like I know.
I feel like that's right. I feel like that's right. I don't know.
Oh yeah, CBs. All right, let's continue here.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh man, have you put a tape in this thing yet?
Yeah, I told you. I put a tape. Matter of fact, in the video, if I would have sent you both parts, I put a tape in and it rewinds and fast forwards. But when you play it, it'll only play it a little bit and then it stops. But it doesn't pull the tape out though. It doesn't like eat it or anything. It just stops.
I got a little tease here. This is where it stops. So, darn, man, I wanted to see that.
Sorry, man. I thought I sent everything, but anyway, it looks good. But play the other video. You can see how filthy it looked when I
actually did. I didn't save that one for some weird reason. I don't know why.
It's all good. It doesn't matter. Well, just imagine that with a bunch of bird shit on it, and
If anybody wants to see his awesome before and after, check out his Instagram page at CWR2. Is there anything else that goes with that?
No, that's it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, we got to talk about your NES collection or your insane NES collection, and this probably isn't even all of them. What got you started on your Duck Hunt Mario collection?
All right, so there's something a lot of NES set collectors will go through, especially, we're talking late 90s, early 2000s. You would always go and buy even mid 2000s, I guess, but you would go and buy a lot of games, right? And for whatever reason, there was always like 1 or 2 Mario Duck Hunts, which never really made sense because why would anybody have more than one? But it always seemed to work out that way. And, so I have this big shelf that has my NES set on it, but as you're building it, you need space filler. So at one point I thought, you know what, I'll just use these extra Mario Duck Hunts as space fillers. And then there was something about the aesthetic looking at like this big row of Mario Duck Hunts. I was like, man, I really like that. And it was actually the first NES game I got, because when I bought my own Nintendo as a kid. I cut my grandparents' yard, and I'd get $15 every time I did it, so I can do it 4 times a month. So it took me a couple of months to build up enough. It was like 99 plus tax. So went down to Kmart, bought me a Nintendo, and it came with Mario Duck Hunt. So that was the first game I had. That was the first game I had for like several months until my birthday came up. But so there was kind of like that connection. Plus, it's like anybody from that era, that's probably like the first game they played. And everybody, at least of a certain age, everybody's played it or seen it, right? So I had this small shelf, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to fill up this shelf, and it fit 380 games on it. But after I filled it up, that was kind of like, a lot of community was helping out. I would get a lot of donations, or I hate to even say donations. I would get a lot of gifts. That's what I would rather call it, because I'm not a museum. I'm not a nonprofit. You know what I mean?
Were these ladies sending these gifts?
A few, but mostly it was guys. You know what I mean? But so they'd send 1 or 2, and then at some point I was like, hey, I want you to sign it, like write your name on it. Because I kind of felt like that's another kind of nostalgia thing about NES games. You would get a game, not this one per se, but they're like somebody would write their name on it. Like their mom would make them write their name on the game, right? You know what I mean? Or a store would write on it. So I kind of felt like, well, this was their property and they gave it to me, so now I got their game. So I kind of say, hey, do that. Well, as I was getting close to 380, a funny thing happened. I was looking at the way my game room set up, and there was a shelf that was right next to my NES games. And I thought, man, that's really the shelf I should have put them on. And that shelf actually holds 650. So I changed it from 380 to 650, and then now it's full.
So you got 650 Duck Hunt I keep calling them tapes, but cartridges.
Yeah, Mario Duck Hunt tapes.
Okay, I think I know what happened to mine, because I didn't have Duck Hunt and Mario. I didn't, because I got my Nintendo from a yard sale. I mowed lawns all summer long to get a Nintendo. I finally saw one at a garage sale, and I bought it, and it came with Metroid and Castlevania 2.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
So I kind of got started on that free roaming world thing. So by the time I played Mario, I wasn't as enamored. But I understand why people are.
Yeah. Well, it's a classic, man. You know what I mean? But there's just something about the way it all looks. And there's other guys who do this. We got Matt, right, from the Video Vagrants. It was Video Rejects. He's got all his Batman and Robins, right?
I almost brought that picture because it's just such a good picture.
Yeah. So, and he was, me and him had no influence on each other, but it's funny how we eventually end up finding each other, because somebody will send me, or they'll tag me in his post, or vice versa. Anytime anybody has like a hoarding post, I usually get tagged in on it. I used to love my comments section, especially not necessarily on Instagram sometimes, but usually when these photos will end up popping up on. There's a photo that kind of went semi-viral, where I put all the games on the ground. It took 143 of them, and it makes a big Mario. You use it in the thumbnail.
I was trying to bring it up, but I clicked completely wrong shit here.
That's okay. Yeah, there you go. So it makes a big Mario, and I did that in my driveway, and I took a picture of it. Like, that was my goal. So go back to when you asked me why I got so many. I actually left out a step. After I liked how it looked on the shelf, I thought about like what would be a cool picture, and I thought, well, you know what, I need 143 of these because I looked up the pixel art and I counted all the squares. I was like, oh, it's going to take 143 to do this. So that was my original number. I didn't necessarily tell anybody that. I was just going to try to get 143 of them and then make this picture. But along the way, I decided to fill up that shelf. I built it and then I said, oh, this is how many will fit on it. But anyway, so when I put that picture up, it kind of went viral on, I did okay on Instagram, but it also like popped up on Reddit and on Facebook in different groups. And it's just funny, there's always I live in my mom's basement. And then, I'll say, well, my mom lives in an apartment, she doesn't have a basement. But, there's always these kind of insults and everything. And I love them. I always like highlight them and share them and make posts out of them. And
well, they don't know you're a ladies' man.
Well, I have a lady, so
hey, you got a lady. I can't pull that off, man. And I don't know why. But I can't seem to lock that down in the long term.
It seems like that unicorn head would draw him in. You know what I mean?
The only thing sus in my house here, let me get it. Let me put my unicorn away here.
Okay, there you
go. I do got my my co-host here today.
What's up, dude? This
is a prop from Drew Marvick. He was selling some of his screen props from Pool Party Massacre, and of course, I had to pick it up.
That's pretty cool.
And that's whenever my co-host isn't here, I'll bring her along. But
all right, well,
she's living up the good life today.
That reminds me of I don't know how versed you are with like Attitude Era wrestling in the WWF at the time. There was Al Snow. He used to come out with a mannequin head.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
And then he'd be awesome. Like, what does everybody want? And he would hold it up and the whole crowd, all these little kids would be yelling, head, It's like, it was terrible, man.
Al Snow's had a lot of different gimmicks, but man, I followed his career for a long time. He's pretty dope. I loved ECW quite a bit anyway, so.
Oh, dude, big ECW fan, man. I love that. Used to watch it on the Sunshine Network, some random channels on my old Prime Star, DirecTV.
You went to WrestleMania. Did you lose your mind?
Dude, my real good friend, let me think of his name, Curtis. And he's like, he's the ticket master, man. He can hook up a lot of events in Los Angeles. And it just worked out. WrestleMania was a 2-day event. And ended up going, day one, we had, we kind of had nosebleed seats, which I didn't care, dude. I was happy to be in the house. But day two, dude, we were right on the floor, right, very close to the ring. And it was a pretty awesome experience, man. It's definitely a bucket list, childhood dream come true kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I'm completely out of touch on current wrestling. Is it a good time to jump in?
Dude, I think it's always a good time to jump in. It's kind of like okay, when I was a kid during the summer, I would watch soap operas with my mom. Not every day. You know what I mean? There'd be days where, there was nothing to do in the morning or whatever. And I'd be watching TV. I'd watch soap operas with her. And, but then when school came back in, I wouldn't see them no more. And then on Christmas break, if I was at home, in the morning or whatever, and they were on, I'd watch them with her again. You can always jump back in is the point I'm getting at. You know what I mean? Like wrestling it's universal, man. You can always pop back in. It's always there for you when you want to come back, Mike.
I'm ready, man. I mean, we used to wrestle in my living room for this belt. I was a luchador wrestler, of course. And we would wrestle for the living room belt. And we would always bust their ass, falling through coffee tables. And I'm pretty sure I was the last belt holder. I'll have to ask my buddy Tony Blankenship.
God, I believe, dude. I'm almost mad that you said that out loud. You should have patented that first. The living room belt. We can get a belt made, a little spinner, be like a couch in the middle, you little spinner belt or something.
Well, I think it can play into some plans I have. Are you familiar with coleslaw wrestling?
I am not familiar with coleslaw wrestling. What is that?
It is a VHS tape. It's quite infamous and very rare. I do not own it yet, but I will change that. But it's basically a bunch of chicks wrestling in coleslaw. It's a tantalizing event. But is what grosses me out is if people that know me is I hate condiments. So chicks wrestling in coleslaw to me is the most disgusting thing in the world. So I want to bring that to my living room, like big old tub
of mayonnaise.
People battle. a coleslaw, you know, the
Yeah.
lettuce, mayonnaise lettuce, and have people, you know, that have beef with like YouTubers or maybe people from other video groups, you know, wrestle it out and work out their problems with each other. You think that would be something people would be into? And we could throw in the living room belt.
I mean, I'm not saying they wouldn't. That sounds kind of fun. Maybe I'd challenge my good friend Bill. He could come down from Canada. He could ride on down on one of his moose, and we could get greased up, jump in the slaw dome or whatever.
What's going to be you got to have a like, you know, when you come out, what song would you come out to?
Oh man, you put me on the spot. I don't know. It would be something American. I would still Hulk Hogan song, dude. Because if I'm wrestling Bill, it's got to be Canada versus America, man.
Oh wait, who had the Canadian gimmick?
Oh, see now,
damn, I
can't remember. Here we go. Sergeant Slaughter. We get in the puns in the comment section. That's awesome.
You know, somebody's gonna know. There was like a dude that came out with a big Canadian flag. I can't remember what his name was.
Bret Hart.
Was it Bret Hart?
Well, yeah, they had there was a big angle in the late 90s, or like 97.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, they had a big Canada versus America angle. And when they were in the States, the Canadians were the bad guys in general. But when they were in the States, of course, the good guys would get cheered and the bad guys would get booed. But when they would go to Canada, the bad guys were getting cheered. Because they were the Canadian heroes. It was pretty fun, man. It was a cool angle. I've
met a couple Canadians recently, and they've all been so nice. I don't know what my thoughts were of Canada, but everybody's been so awesome.
Yeah, with a few exceptions.
Well, I say, was that a jab at Bill?
Yeah, that's a jab at Bill. Bill's awesome, man.
For people that don't know, he does another show called Midnight is Flashing with his boy, Pneumatic Bill, who knows probably more about the history of tapes than anyone I've ever met in my life. And he's so fascinating to listen to.
Yeah, Bill's awesome.
We should have just brought him on here. I don't know why I didn't just say, bring Bill.
Well, he can come on in the next episode. Hey, so since we're talking wrestling, because we don't want to make this too much of an all wrestling show, but do you want to talk about the 59.95 club?
Yeah. I meant to bring a slide up on that. All right. Chris has this tape, and I of course, he always gets a better tape than I do. I would get the worst version of the tape, like the most current or the most like second or third release. But Chris, he always has the very first release, the one as we call it, the 59.95 club. Is that our running gag?
Yeah, that's what me and you we got our 59.99 club. Because so I did this video where I showed this WrestleMania 4 tape. Now it's not in great condition or anything, but when you open it up, Hulk Hogan pops out like that. But if it's the first print, right, you going crazy with the tab. There you go. That's all right. The first print it was only $59.95. Let me see if I can get this mirror here. So it was only $59.95, right? And but as things happen, you know, when it gets down the line, they drop the price on it, and now it's $39.95. So the joke is Mike's in the $39.95 club, and I'm in the $59.95 club.
Man, I will never be in your club, man. You're always gonna be a step ahead of me.
Well, the joke was you were looking it up when you saw it. You were like, I need to get one of these. And you sent me the picture. And I was like, oh, no, man. I mean, that one's cool, too. But that's the $39.95. And you're like, that's where I'm always at. I'm in the $39.95 club. So anyway.
It's just like you're always I know this about you. You're always going to be a step ahead of me. You got the charisma, you got the chops, you got the tapes, you got everything you need to make it huge in the VHS sphere. And you could have been fine just being popular in the Nintendo world, but you had to take it a step further, become a CRT master and also a VHS master. It's never enough for you, Chris.
Well, I get the crap I like, Mike, and I like a lot of stuff. So I end up with too much stuff. This room it's getting ridiculous. As you see, whenever we go to the one video, you'll see my pile of shame, because every hardcore collector, Mike, we don't like to admit it because you never see that in their Instagram photos, but there's a pile of shame. You know, whenever you bring home a bunch of crap and then you stick it somewhere and there it sits, or you know, you were supposed to rearrange and you started to, but you never finished. Yeah, that's the pile. And there's a pile of shame right behind me. That's it. See where I'm sitting, the pile of shame is right there. See that pile on the bottom right there? That's right behind me.
I don't. It's looking pretty damn good to me, you lucky bastard.
Oh, that's a pile of shame right there, man. The TVs are awesome, but
you're always sending me a picture like coming back from some old lady's house that you robbed completely with her 40 CRT televisions. Look at this. Okay, for people that don't know, me and Chris are like real life personal friends.
Yeah,
so,
I'll talk all the time.
He calls me on the regular. So like if we seem a little looser with each other, that might be why.
See, NES Clay, he knows. See, this is a real collector talk right here. NES Clay chiming in. He has a pile in 2 different rooms right now. That's what I'm saying. Everybody has a shame pile if you're a hardcore collector. And if you're not, you're doing it wrong.
My bedroom is my shame pile. Like, I think I've mentioned this before, how when I sleep, I wake up and there'll be tapes laying on my head and shit. And I've rolled over and have damaged tapes before. Actually, VHS Haven sent me this tape for pieces.
Yeah, I have that right over there. I can't reach it though, but
oh, sorry.
That's all right. You want to always go with that one.
And look, I split the side of it with my fat ass.
A little bit of glue will fix that.
Yeah, I need to doctor it up. And it sucks because it's such a I thought you brought pieces today.
Well, I did bring pieces, but not that one. So you want to hear my pieces story, Mikey?
Yeah, I sorry, I was setting you up and I messed it up.
That's okay. I forgot where you were going with it. All right. So
that was supposed to be my smooth transition. You didn't take the bait.
No. I'm sorry, man. You messed me up there, or I messed you up. But okay. So this movie came out in, I don't know, 83.
Let me see that cover and we'll bring it up. We're gonna get good at this, bringing up the cover for you. Oh, I got your video still going.
Yeah, you don't want to show that.
All right, there we go. Let's try this again here.
The big screen, the big
there
box.
We go. Yeah. For some reason, it's not wanting to pop up. I don't know what the deal is.
It's okay. You don't need to do anything. So
there we go.
There you go. Take out Clay there for a second.
Oh,
Thank you, Clay. Appreciate the comment. There you go. So, so this is the print you would want if you were looking for a copy of pieces. Okay, so imagine a young child, a little 9-year-old kid sitting in his living room with his parents. And you can go back to a 2 screen. There you go.
Yeah, I don't like telling stories in full screen either.
Yeah, that's awkward.
Yeah, I fucking hate it.
So, we're watching TV and a commercial comes on. And keep in mind, Mikey, the scariest thing I ever saw at that point in my life was Scooby-Doo cartoons. And I think we watched Poltergeist, right? That might have been it. That's it. That was probably the scariest thing. I remember thinking like Mad Max, the Road Warrior was scary. You know what I mean? Like that was tense. So this commercial comes on for pieces. And I don't know. I think I was just trying to be kind of cool around my dad or something. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Right. You got to keep in mind, my dad was a cheap ass. He wasn't sending me to the movies. That dude never took me to the movies. I don't think we ever went to the movies one time as a family other than Mad Max. And that was because he was probably getting stoned with his friends. But so he tells my mom, hey, go and take him here. Here's some money. Go take him to the movies right now. And I'm like, what? I didn't really want to see it. So my mom, she was just kind of doing what he wanted her to do. And we're driving to the theater, and I probably should have spoke up and be like, I don't know, Mom, I think Gremlins is playing, or, something like that. Keep in mind, the only movies my mom took me to were like E.T. and, I don't know, basic ass Return of the Jedi. I could think of cool movies my mom took me to. Here we are. We go to pieces. Opening scene. The boy is putting together this puzzle of a naked lady. Mom busts in on him. She smacks him around, takes the puzzle, and is going to throw it away. She's degrading the kid. Next thing you know, the kid comes into the room with an axe and chops her up to death, right? And that's the opening scene, Mike. The very opening scene. Does my mom say, what is this? Let's go. Did Did the guy who sold us the tickets look down at this little kid and said, "Ma'am, are you nuts? This is a rated R horror movie." Everybody failed me that day. I'm assuming my dad must have had something going on because this guy is notoriously cheap. There's no way he was being generous that night he must have had something going on with the neighbor lady or something and wanted to get us out of the house for a couple hours because or he wanted to do drugs or something. There was something going on that he didn't want us to see. But yeah, so there it is. That's I was 9 years old, Mike.
I relate to that 100% because my family took me to see Poltergeist and Exorcist double feature.
Oh.
So I was no stranger to being way too young to be watching that stuff. So I definitely understand, but my parents took me, like it was a big drive-in event. Like it was more family and more wholesome, I guess.
Well, I mean, in fairness to them, Exorcist was rated R, but Poltergeist was a PG movie.
Poltergeist is the one that got me, and I don't know why. I laugh at it now. It's silly.
Oh, it's scary though. As a kid, that clown and the tree coming through the window.
It's the damn cartoon hand. I still side eye my CRT over here at night. I'm like,
yeah,
come on,
yeah, right.
All right. Let's take a look at your. We didn't get to finish going through your crib, did we?
I don't know. I think we stopped at
we looked at like one thing.
You're like, man, that's pretty grainy. Let's talk about some tapes.
Here, let me turn down this stuff here. Well, the thing is you sent me these files at like, what are they, 380p?
I thought it went through normal, man. We should have did it in Google Drive. We got to figure it out this morning, and it was too late. But I should have sent you this file in Drive, and I just emailed it to you, and it came out really crappy.
Excuse me, sir. Can I have some old pixels, please? Can I have some old pixels?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Any chance to bust your balls, you know?
Oh, no, they deserve it. This looks like crap.
Oh, man, you got one of the bendy wrestler dudes. Those things, my brother used to beat me with those.
Yeah, that's the LJN wrestlers. That's a Roddy Piper.
Oh, sorry, I'm going to have to go back here. I got to check him out.
He's going to, there you go. That's a good one. He's actually in pretty good shape, too.
Oh, yeah, you can bring him up, man.
I could just show him to you.
Sorry.
But his little kilt's all jacked up. In the backside, you can see his butthole. But, you know, that's kind of rare. I didn't even know it came with a kilt.
Wait, I gotta ask, what's under the kilt?
This is his little man panties.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta do that for the Roddy fans out there.
Yeah, but the paint on this is really good. I gotta stop dropping it because I think I actually chipped it a couple times since I got it home, but he's in good shape.
Holy crap, we got a celebrity guest here in chat. We got Hat Hole Home Video, that dirty dog. What's up, man?
Yeah, dude, I love this guy's channel. I'm looking forward to his little new show that he promoted the other day. It looked pretty cool.
Dude, he has been slamming it. I love his new set he has. I love all his... you can tell he puts work into his stuff. And I always respect content creators. I know it's hard to put that little extra shit in, but I always respect content creators that do that little extra, even if it takes a little extra time to cook.
Absolutely, man.
And
you can see. No. I was gonna say he's got quality, and you can tell.
He could be in our VHS Justice League 100%.
Oh yeah, he's definitely not Apache Chief. He would, you know.
Can I be Aquaman? I like the water a lot. I'm like a very aquatic.
He could be Aquaman. Why not?
Plus, I look great in a Speedo, man.
Yeah.
Really fill that out.
It would be the real Justice League, you know, like reality Justice League.
looks like a sick puffer fish in there.
Everybody's super chiseled, man. Like even like Zan and Jaina, you know, you look at them, they're like all chiseled, and Gleek is the only one with a gut.
I would just like to be as built as Gleek, you know. It's as far as I'd be happy with that build.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, let's try this again. Let's get back to your hood here. All right. Oh, you even got your own little. How come you didn't send me no stickers, dude?
Dude, I haven't sent. I've sent you a sticker before.
I
You
don't
had
have
one
a
in your coffee pot.
CWR2 sticker.
Oh yeah, no, those I just got those not too long ago. I'll send you some.
I got your Nintendo sticker, your Duck Hunt sticker on my coffee maker.
Yeah, you do.
You got a little hot
And
sauce.
yeah, I was gonna say, I just noticed that. You can tell I really spruced up the spot to make this video for you, Mike. I really went all out.
Holy shit! Did I just skip ahead?
I think you might have skipped that. That's all right.
Holy crap! Okay, they're hearing how many you haven't actually seen it is insane. Again, you could have just been an NES collector and been just fine.
Yeah.
You don't like pull a candelabra on that and end up in a secret room, do you?
I wish, man. If I ever hit the lottery, I'm doing something like that. That's going to be the secret entrance door as my Mario Duck Hunts.
I would love a secret entrance, but I think Mondo kind of has it covered. But
I'm going to hook up with him.
I'm
going to get the number of his guy or whatever, and that's going to happen.
I think he was the guy.
Well, then I'll get his number then. Hey, Mondo, come. Next time you're in California, let's make a secret entrance.
Have you ever seen the TV show Remote Control?
I have.
You know how they like pull the lever and they get like sucked back? That's what I want my chair to do. And when I get my back? I want tracks so I can get sucked into the wall and come out of it and stuff. I think it'd be awesome.
That would actually be pretty cool. I haven't seen that show in a long time, but yeah, that was when they would get kicked off, right? They get eliminated.
Yeah. But I want that to be my entrance. Or I guess I could leave the show like that too, you know?
Yeah. All right. Later, tapeworms and then suck right through the roar.
Oh, dude, the power pad, man. I still remember everybody cheated on it, you know. But,
right. Yeah, because we were all lazy. We're like, I'm not jumping around on that crap.
But one of my favorite summers, I shouldn't have been at this slumber party, but I remember being at a slumber party. It was all chicks. And we were on the power pad, just like working it, like, and I wanted to show off. So I was really working them calves, you know, trying to make an impression. But it's so awesome that you got one of those.
It's not bad.
You got 007? You got GoldenEye?
Yeah, that's actually a sealed copy that I found at a yard sale.
Do you ever do the Kong mode where everybody's like slumped over?
I did. When I was into that back when it came out, I did all the modes.
Look at Rob. He's just like, I nonchalantly have a Rob just chilling. And you got, I've had a Power Glove forever, but you have the one that nobody has.
Well, no, that's not true. There's a mythical left-handed glove, which I don't believe even exists. Nobody's actually shown it.
I thought that one was a left-handed. I'm sorry.
No. The one's an adult size, one's a child size.
Oh, okay.
The child size is a little harder to come by. I don't think people know that. And then I'm not saying it's necessarily rare. I just think there was less of those sold. I think there was more adult size Power Gloves sold. And so I do have a couple child size gloves that are kind of cool. They all work too, which is surprising, but it's not really the glove that you would have the issue with unless there's something with the cord. It has like these little, I don't know what you call them. I guess receptors or something. They're like this plastic crap that has these little receivers and you stick them above your TV. So whenever you're doing the stuff with the glove, it tracks you.
I don't think I ever set mine up right. Cause I'd be like punching, putting in work, you know, just doing combos. My condos are pretty weak. I had my chin exposed the entire time, but, I think that's the problem with me. I've taken one too many punches, but, I don't know, man. It's just awesome.
I think everybody, even a non-video game guy, should have a Power Glove, if for nothing else, for a nice prop.
Oh, dude, I've been busting it down on the ladies.
Yeah, so that's my NES set there. I'm only a couple games shy of a complete set. I don't have a ton of boxes because that was never something I was that interested in, but I, at some point, decided to get the ones that I wanted. As you can see, there's some repeats there, like all that yellow, but those are actually different prints. So in the United States, Super Mario had...
That's 3, right? Mario 3?
Yeah, Super Mario 3 had 3 copies. See, there was 3 different, quote unquote prints, right? There's like the one that every collector wants is the left bros. That's where the bros is kind of offset a little bit. And then when they didn't like it, it was like kind of like a design flaw, so they moved the Bros over in the name Super Mario Bros. And because they like covered his hand a little bit or something like that.
Is that the Bros Before Hose edition?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But then I decided that wasn't enough for me, so I went for like the European prints and the Canadian prints and Germany and all these things. So that's what you're seeing up there is a bunch of overdoing it.
I know we're a tape channel, but I want you to know Chris's roots, because I mean he has every bit as impressive VHS collection as he does Nintendo collection and beyond. And I just love that you're so well rounded.
Well, I had a lot of time on my hand, but you know what though? That wall of NES there, surprisingly, most of I would say 90%.
I skipped past your Contra there, but
that's okay. About 90% of those NES games I found in the quote unquote wild. You know, like there's definitely some eBay purchases. There's definitely some purchases off other gamers and conventions and stuff like that. I'm not saying everything was $1, but I'm pretty proud of how little I paid for a lot of that stuff. You know, I got in a little early too. So
is that a Big Mac collection? Do you have a Big Mac collection? Wait, let's take this in. You have a Big Mac collection.
Well, that's a Big Mac, a quarter pounder, a McDLT, a fillet of fish, and a chicken nuggets.
Dude, do you ever like bust those out for fun? Like, you know, do you ever take your McDonald's and put them in them?
I planned on doing that for like a video or something, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
I mean, the food hasn't changed except for the French fries. So
you would know the difference. I do, but I think that's the thing that's holding me back. I need to get a vintage fry box. I think I have a Batman one, but I want to have like a traditional looking one. And then, I'll probably use like an old McDonald's glass, one of the etch glasses.
Do they still smell like hamburgers?
No, they're pretty clean. You know, the funny thing is what kind of got that started was that fillet of fish. I was at an estate sale and I saw it and I thought, dude, that's kind of cool. So I asked the lady, how much do you want for this? She looked at it. She goes, nothing. We don't charge for trash.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was like, okay, thanks. You got any more trash like this?
Yeah, you got any more ancient trash?
Yeah, see, we don't charge for trash.
See, that's where you're lucky. I would come up and they'd be like, $20.
Well, that wouldn't have been a bad price, to be honest. The styrofoam game is hard, dog. You know what I mean? Good luck.
The mean streets of styrofoam.
Yeah, it's tough. That McDLT though, that's like my holy grail, man, of McDonald's crap. I think that's like the pinnacle of 80s waste is the McDLT, because that is so ridiculously unnecessarily large.
And they're not even in like any kind of bad condition. They look as good as the day so it just goes to show that they have not deteriorated a single amount.
And if you want something like that, just go down to your local dump and ask them for like an 80s section and just start digging. You'll find some.
I'm ready to switch it up. I don't want to be a VHS master anymore. I want to be a Big Mac, the Big Mac. That's what I want to be.
You be the Big Mac. Anyways, these are my Atari games right here. A little Atari 2600. That's another little collection that I really enjoy. And these were all really cheap too. I didn't have an Atari as a kid, but I knew kids who had Ataris or older dudes who were scamming on my mom. And I'd get to play Atari from time to time. And when I went to the hospital for a couple of months as a child. I had stepped on a nail and had blood poisoning and had to have an operation. And when I was in there, one of the upsides of it was I got to play Atari. They had Pac-Man on Atari, and I was like, dude, this is awesome. So I'd be in the little game room playing Pac-Man. And it's so funny to hear people years later when they talk about how unsuccessful or what killed Atari and all this stuff. And Pac-Man comes up, and they always talk about like all these people who returned it. And I call bullshit on that. I'm not saying there was no returns, but I'm saying that I knew kids at my age, and there was not one kid who said they hated the ET game or they hated Pac-Man. Nobody did. It was just what it was. It's what you had.
Well, I had ColecoVision. I didn't get Atari till way late in the game. Remember, I was like dirt poor.
Right.
So I got Atari like when Nintendo was out. And then I got I got Nintendo towards the end of the cycle when Super Nintendo was starting to come out. So I was always behind.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's people who just regurgitate stories that they think are true and they just don't really know. You know what I mean? Because I'm just saying there wasn't people. It's even like the hate on like Zelda 2 or Castlevania 2. There's like a lot of people who'll be like, "Oh man, everybody hated it." No, they didn't. That you didn't know
I
any
love
different. You just played
Castlevania
it.
too.
You just played it. Yeah, it was cryptic. There was a hard spot in it that if you didn't have a Nintendo Power, you might not know what you're doing. But it's just people that make videos that really don't know what they're talking about.
Well, the cool with Castlevania 2 is you can go anywhere. Like you can take your dude and just be like, I'm gonna go try to find Dracula.
Yeah.
And you could go the complete other direction and you'd get killed, but at least you could do it, you know?
Right. Yeah, it was open world.
Yeah.
Little Castlevania GTA.
My first game, like I said, was Metroid and Castlevania 2. So I was introduced to open world Nintendo games right out of the gate. So every time I played a regular side scroller, I was like, I don't like this. I can't go the other way. I can't go where I want. I didn't like it.
Right.
But that's why I liked Mario 2, is that you had more choices. Everyone hated Mario 2, but it was my favorite.
Yeah, that's another thing that people would talk about. And I don't know, man. I remember when it came out, I loved it. We all had fun with that. Nobody were like, hey, this is weird. Nobody cared. You just played it. It was just what they gave you.
That Doki Doki Panic drip, man.
Exactly.
What's that poster of?
That's actually a Nintendo calendar from 1992. That's another thing I found at a yard sale. Someone just had it sitting there for a quarter on a table. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that.
I don't recognize it. I've had every Nintendo Power, but I haven't had any of the calendars.
I don't know. It was just some sort of Nintendo calendar.
Oh, look at you teasing me with your magic tape. You know I want that thing.
I know. I know you love that thing. I found that at a thrift store for I think it was $1, and it's still sealed, and it's got all these. If you can see on the top right, that's a stack of like 5 different reduction stickers from Toys R Us, I think, and it's pretty cool, man. I haven't opened it yet though, but it's pretty dope.
If I had that, I would be doing magic tricks, entertaining everybody. People would be coming over to see my VCR tricks, and you just got it in the box mocking me.
Yeah, I know you want it, man. I want you to want. I have it, but I'll have to find you another one.
Got to bust your balls. I don't think anyone busts them as good as Bill, but I'm trying.
Man, that was nice of Hat Hole to stop in.
Oh my God. Oh, dude. I couldn't believe that. That's insane.
Yeah.
He is like way too big to be dropping by here. All right. You got to talk about what's the name of that white TV there?
All right. So that's a Panasonic, I think it's an AG500. Let me double check. Yeah. AG500. And, that's kind of like the holy grail-ish for your TV VCR combos. I think there's actually another one I'm always looking for. There's a red one. I don't know if it's Panasonic or not.
And that's a side entrant. You can put it on the tape goes in the side.
You'd call it a vertical, right? Yeah, because horizontal would be like this. So it'd be a vertical entry. Yeah, it's a side loader. That's another way to say it. So one of the things that happen a lot is there's a little tape. Let me see if I can just show you here. Let's see. Not a tape, but there's a little door right here that breaks off, right? So a lot of times you'll see them and they'll look like this. You'll just see go big screen there. Oh, there you go. No, that's fine. Okay. A lot of times they'll just look like this because this is broken off. So when I got it, when I bought it on eBay, the guy, he originally wanted $250, and when he mailed it and I put the tape in, it would just eject the tape. So I ended up he ended up giving me a refund, and I only paid him $100 for it. And it didn't have this door. Well, my friend Al, who's known as Dirty Horror on, maybe he doesn't want me to say because he probably had a bunch of people bothering him. But anyways, I already said it. So on Instagram, I was talking to him, and he said if I brought it by, he'd take a look at it. So what ended up happening is, I guess in the shipping, it got banged around a little bit, and it kind of bent the side. It didn't really hurt the TV. You don't notice it. But on the inside, there's like a metal plate right here that got bent in just a tad. and all he did was just push it back with his hand, and you stick the tape in, and place is fine. But that's not good enough for Al. He's a 3D printer guy. This guy prints everything, and he don't just take someone else's schematics. Okay, Al creates schematic. He'll measure it and he'll make it perfect. Well, he 3D printed me a door, and it's not a perfect match on the color because that would really be impossible. But I don't care. It looks great, and I'm really happy he did it. And he's such a great dude. But yeah, so I ended up getting this. It's like I said, it's like one of those holy grails that you kind of have to have if you're a VCR TV VCR combo guy, and I am, and I had to have it. I don't use it a lot because I'm always kind of afraid just to wear it out, but every now and then I'll just pop in a tape and play it for a little while.
I feel like that's kind of the future of our hobby is people that can 3D print, because we're going to run into more and more damaged parts, belts that don't work, doors that are missing, maybe even whole cartridges that need restored. And I think the future is 3D printing tapes, 3D printing all these replacement parts, and kind of getting us up and running until a company releases another retro style VCR.
I think we're close, dude. I really think so, because whenever you starting to see the nostalgia in TV commercials and stuff, where they're showing, and in TV shows, I mean, it didn't really last, but there was that Blockbuster video show that was on Netflix, and you got to think when we were kids, we were seeing a lot of stuff about greasers and stuff, right? Like they were showing like our parents' childhood or older people's childhood. You know what I mean? So you were seeing stuff like that didn't really, well, that's kind of what it is, dude. We're at 40-year mark now from the 80s. You know what I mean? So that's the stuff that they're going to reissue. You thought they stopped making record players at some point because they were obsolete.
Well, they don't. Keep going.
And they keep going. And VHS is as hot as it's been in a very long time. So,
dude, it's getting ridiculous. Like I have like, they have VHS Legos. They got VHS makeup. You name it. I was buying it all for a while, but after a while, I was like, okay, the novelty for me isn't there anymore. I do like seeing it, but as long as it's done well,
I like seeing it, but like I like the Stranger Things. They use that motif for their Blu-rays. I like that. That's the kind of stuff I like. That's what I think they're doing it right. I'm not into the newer. I always think of it as like I'd rather spend my money on the older stuff, the stuff I really like. You know what I mean? But I tell you right now, though, if they release a brand new VCR or a TV VCR combo, I'll be day one. I'll pre-order it. I'll be right on it because you're getting brand new parts, man. It'd be awesome.
I just seen what was in it. Is that a Ken doll? Like from Street Fighter?
Yeah, it actually is. Good eye. That's exactly what that is.
It kind of reminds me of the Ken from what was it? Street Fighter. It was like in the future. Was it 2099? It was something silly sounding.
No, you're talking about the NES game, Street Fighter 2010 or whatever.
Yeah, he's like a side scroller.
Yeah, no, this is from Street Fighter 2.
Oh, the G.I. Joe.
Yeah, but it's Ken. They did a crossover line. So there's a Ryu, there's a Ken, there's a other.
I like he has like dancing feet. Did he have like some kind of special kick action?
No, I think that's
that's what my legs do when I get out of bed. They're like,
that's something that's just been played with.
I don't know what's going on with my nervous system, but it's rejecting me lately.
Oh man. You want to see some more tapes?
Yeah, let's check them out, man. I'm gonna get you over on the big cam here.
All right, so this is now I remember this was a tape that kind of fucked with you a little bit when I found it, because I called you right after I found it. I have this, quote unquote secret spot. It's not so good anymore because they kind of blew out a lot of their stuff, but for a long time, for like about a year, maybe even 2 years, it was like my private spot where I'd go there and there would be all these tapes and I would just go through them and keep going through them. And I would organize. This thing was a complete mess. I ended up organizing this guy's stuff for me, not for him. You know what I mean? Because I wanted it to, like, I knew what I went through, so I would organize it, right? Well, one day I come across this copy of Top Gun.
And here he is. Here he is.
So I see this and I'm like, Well, I noticed it like this on the shelf first, and I knew something was off about it. Because normally there's like a picture of Tom Cruise and what Kelly McGillis or whatever her name is on the side here. And I'm thinking like that's weird. And I pull it out and I saw this and I'm like, you know, because it kind of wraps around, right? You see like the jet goes to the side there. And I'm like, dude, I don't think I've ever seen that before. And then I flipped it over and it's like courtesy of Diet Pepsi.
God damn,
You're
I
the
did it
worst with
again.
that.
I know I'm the worst at this stuff here. Add the stream. There we go. Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of this whole video thing here because it keeps fucking me up here.
All right. Anyway, it's got this courtesy of Diet Pepsi on the back. So this was like basically a mail away. You know, and it's all legit. I mean, it's you know, it's Paramount. It's not like some cheap.
Let me see that back again, Chris.
Well, hold on.
Look, what's on the back there?
Look, everything's normal. It's a regular Top Gun tape. It's not like filmed in EP or anything. Like, so I guess basically you had to send in some proofs of purchase or something, and then maybe you had to buy a 12-pack. I really don't know, but there was something. Anyways, this came with Diet Pepsi. Either you had a mail away for it or it was in the grocery store. But apparently it's a pretty hard to find variant because when I looked it up, it was going for like $300. So I don't know what it priced for now, but this was last year or whatever. So I send this to you, and of course I can hear you clicking away. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit. You know, because you were just gonna buy one real quick, and he saw the price. I'm like,
yeah, I couldn't pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I would not have pulled the trigger on it. And I probably should have just sold it when it was at the high mark. But I don't know, man. I like it. It makes me feel happy.
I have scouts that are out and about, and one of these days, one of my homies are going to be like, "Yeah, I agree with you, Bill. Look at you see that flex."
Hey, he said to show tapes. All right, we had a pre-production meeting. So there's something like, okay, so when you're collecting tapes, right? There's tapes like people go for, right? Your older tapes, like you kind of have to have a Return of the Living Dead, right? This is like a, really badass tape, a really good movie too. Which I got this for free, mind you. There was a guy who's a swap meet hunter like me. And he's like, dude, you want VHS? I got a box of them. You can have them. And I'm like, all right. And I met him up at swap meet, and this was the first one sitting on top. And I almost pulled the trigger on this because this goes anywhere from like $50 to $100, kind of depending on eBay market, what's happening at the time.
I don't have it. I wish I did.
Well, there was one on eBay for like $30 at the time. And I was gonna buy it that night, but I don't know. I talked myself out of it. And the next morning, I got it for free. But anyway, so you get your older tapes, right? But
I'm gonna give that one a puff of smoke, man.
Okay. Hopefully your smoke machine's working.
Well, it takes a sec to kind of kill.
It's got to get warmed up.
It's like, well, it's cold, so it wants to lay low.
There it is.
It'll fill up the floor, and then it kind of comes up.
But then there's also tapes where, like, you didn't think that would be value, but they're like the end of the line tapes, right, Mike? I mean, everything has like a last, like the last VHS tape or the last, the harder to find, like. One I'm really looking for right now. I probably shouldn't say it out loud because I don't want one of you guys.
Yeah, everyone's going. Wait, what is this tape you're speaking of?
Yeah, but 40-year-old virgin is pretty hard to find. Like I think it's a couple $100 or $100 if it's not a cheap tape. But so you're looking for things. So then there's things like Mulholland Drive. This is probably like a $25, $30 tape. Nothing too crazy. But then there's
what's that all about? I've never seen that.
It's a later release. Well, this is one of those David Lynch movies.
Oh, okay.
Like what did he do? Blue Velvet.
Yeah, I went and saw a lot of his films in the theater.
Yeah, isn't he also that TV show, right?
Wait, what TV show? Oh, Twin Peaks?
Twin Peaks. I think so, isn't he? Am I wrong about that? I could be. But then, like Donnie Darko. This is another one that's like in that 30-ish range. Maybe a little more. It actually might be more than that. But this one, though, you got to look out for the variants, though. So you want to get your Blockbuster blue. And then there's a Hollywood Video that's white. And then there's like a regular black one. So you kind of look for that. So I found the Blockbuster one. This I just found at the thrift store. I didn't even think nothing about it when I found it. I was just like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know, I liked the movie, but I didn't really think it was worth anything. But it
I
turns out,
never run across Donnie Darko in the wild ever. So
yeah. This one I got lucky on Instagram. This guy was having like cheap sales. I think this goes for about $50. And I think he sold
oh
it to me
man,
for 20. But and he even threw in the nice little protector or whatever. Normally I take these off because
I'm becoming a big fan of those. I have one on my Terror on tape, and I love these because you can take them out and actually like, you know, watch the movie and put them away and still have them protected.
Right, but when you're showing them, there's the reflection and it looks like shit. So I normally I get prepared and I take all this crap off. I forgot to do it for Sean.
Oh, we're still smoking out my room here.
Well, this one's worth the smoke too. But no, this is a cool tape too, man. This is hard to find. So if you run across these, I'd say grab them. This I actually just got recently, and
what is it?
What the
Shaun the next one. Well, I couldn't see what you had.
Well, I hadn't pulled it up yet, Mike. Give me a second here.
Come on, we need some. We need to get moving. Get a look.
So this is another hard one to find too. Like I didn't even realize this had came out on VHS. But you got your Batman Begins. This is like a $75 tape, man.
Oh, dude, you just showed us a porno, man.
Yeah, look how dope this is. They went black spools on it and everything.
Oh man, you don't see that a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean there are some tapes that have it, but I don't know. That's pretty cool.
I only have it on a super cheap tape. I think it's some hairdressing tape.
But now this is the one though that's considered like the last VHS. You'll have people
the
trying
last,
to argue.
not
right. The last commercially released VHS before at a certain point, like
because I say the fans never stop putting tapes out.
They never stop. Also, we got guys like Lunchmeat who are licensing tapes. These are legit tapes. I'm not talking about legitimacy. I'm just saying from like studios in the early 2000s, 2006, right? It's kind of the cutoff. They stopped producing them. I don't know. I had some guys say, "Oh, Disney had a catalog one in 2007." Like, okay, good. I didn't make these rules up. I'm just regurgitating the shit that I was told. But anyways,
historically,
right, is the history of violence. Like this one's pretty cool, and this one's another one I got a pretty good deal on Instagram. I wish I could think of his name right now because he really does deserve a shout out. But
oh, the dude from Lord of the Rings, Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah,
Mortensen.
Yeah, there he is with his chin there.
I wish I had blue eyes, man. I'd be killing the game.
You know, I just read an article about blue eyes. They said that everybody from blue eyes that had blue eyes are actually could be traced back to one set of parents.
Oh, that's crazy. I just did my genealogy and it was very complicated. Apparently my race was all over the planet.
Really? Yeah, I did a 23andMe and I'm going to surprise you. Okay. I'm 98% white. I know it's shocking.
It's shocking. Did it say 100? It just said 98% white dude.
That's what it said. I mean, apparently I'm majority Nordic, but then I'm 2% North African. So there you go.
Hey, that's where. Oh, that's why you got a girlfriend. I know where it's coming from now.
Yeah.
I only had 1% African, so I must not got it all.
Well, there's still time, Mike. But here's something that I know is near and dear to you because you got the tape that makes me jealous is that Turtles tape, that blue
Operation Blue Line, baby, giving it a pump.
Yeah, you snagged that one, but I found this one at the swap meet for 25 cents and it's still sealed. And it's the Turtles Christmas. So you got that sealed action going there.
Your sealed Turtles Christmas, just nonchalantly having it in your collection. Mine's all busted up, looking all beat. Looks like an old hooker that's been living in an alley for like 10 weeks.
It does have one little tiny snag, I think, right? I don't know if I can get in the picture. Yeah, whatever.
Wow, man, that thing's a beaut, man. Even if it didn't have the wrapper on it, I mean, it's in great condition.
Oh yeah, dude. And I'm tempted to open it, but then I'm also like, well, I should just buy it.
You could watch it other places, so I get it.
Yeah, but I mean, I could just buy an open one and then sell this one, right?
Yeah, well, sure.
or keep the difference. I don't know, but
Go ahead.
No. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if what I should do, but I've been keeping it. So
My rule on wrappers is I keep them on if I got doubles or I have another way of watching it, which is pretty common to have another way of watching stuff, unless it's something that is a lot harder to run across, like, some of the older tapes.
Yeah, I wanted to be clear that I'm not like a sealed graded guy or anything. Like if I get them sealed and they have value, I'll just keep them, but I'm not actively looking for stuff. And if that's your thing in the hobby, no judgment. That's just not mine.
It is not my thing.
That's just not mine. I mean, do what you want with your money. Who am I to judge?
But
I got a lot of crap around here that I don't need. So
I'd gladly have a sealed guy in here to have a conversation with, though, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, there's I don't know. It doesn't matter. That's a topic I don't want to go down, but it just is what it is. If you're into that, that's not. Now, how about this one? You got this one, Mikey? You got the Lady Terminator?
I do not have the Lady Terminator. What is that?
It's a janky movie,
is that a
dude.
Fred Engel dude or a chick? I can't tell.
No, it's a chick.
Well, in the 80s, it gets a little dicier. You usually can't tell.
Well, they just ripped off the name. There's a whole lore behind this movie. It's not a good movie at all. I mean, it's, from Shooting Star Video, who's ever heard of that?
I don't know. I want a shirt of it, though. It looks amazing.
Yeah, that does look pretty cool.
I didn't even know that existed.
Then she terminates. All right, so this is a cool story. So, again, we go back to Facebook Marketplace. I was looking around for tapes, and this ad came up. This guy's selling tapes, but he's in Sacramento. Now, I'm in the Fresno area, so Sacramento's about a 2-hour drive. But I'm not above driving. I'll do that. I'll make a trip out of it. I don't care. But anyway, so this guy was selling some tapes, and he had a couple tapes that kind of caught my eye. So we were doing that feeling. It was obvious he was a collector. So he wasn't he knew what he had. It wasn't like I was going to get it, I'll take it all for $10. It wasn't nothing like that. But he was also not knowing who I was either. So I decided, let's just chat for a while. So we started BSing and everything. And I was like, I'm interested in a couple of these tapes. What can you do? And he gave me a decent price. I mean, it was definitely cheaper than eBay. But I'm like, you know what? It's worth the drive. And we can hit some thrift stores on the way there and on the way back, make a trip out of it. So I drove up. He had a big box of stuff, and we're going through it. He invited me in his home. Now, this is during, like, peak COVID fear, too. You know what I mean? So it was kind of funny because, we're kind of standing off from each other initially, and then we kind of forget about COVID, and we're just standing around chatting in his house. But, anyway.
You can say the word now. You used to not even be able to say the word on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
You get clapped right off the bat.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I probably
No, you can say it now. You're allowed to say it now.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I didn't even think about it. I forgot about that. Yeah, people were getting their channels.
It was, you say that word, it was like saying the F word.
Yeah, it kind of was. Anyway, so as I start talking to him, we start to work some things out, man. All of a sudden, he's like, he kind of realizes, like, oh, these are going to go to a good home. So he breaks out the real good stuff. He's like, he's got a box that had pieces in it. He had Frankenhooker. He had Slash Dance, which is another kind of weird slasher from the 80s. And then he breaks out Lady Terminator. And I'm like, dude, let's work on this, And then he made me a sweet bundle price. I think I got, I don't know, it was like 20 good tapes, Mike. This is like, there was no Disney Black Diamonds in this. This is all like good horror tapes for like $150. And
you still talked him down, didn't you?
No, he did it himself because we already had agreed on a higher price, and he reduced it. And I'm like, man,
you're like I don't know, but I'll take it.
Yeah, it's like I thought I agreed for 200, and now it's 150. He's like, just give me 150. I'm like, okay. I was thinking to myself is like, I wonder if I keep talking to this guy if he'll lower it even more. Okay, now this is.
I thought I had a slide of what you're talking about, but I did not.
No. But this right here, hold on to that for a second. Okay, look at that top shelf, dude. There's Halloween 3 first print. There's Blood Rage. Well, actually, that's not a first print of Halloween 3, but it's an early print. Mausoleum. You got a first print of Phantasm.
Where is this?
Okay.
Where,
all right.
Wait, would you want to say? Because I don't want you to out your spot.
No. It doesn't
you already
matter.
get everything you wanted.
No. This place is dead now. Look at that. There's a
Oh,
Boogeyman 2 on the second shelf. Dude, so much crazy stuff. All right, so I go into this was a stop. I almost didn't even stop, Mike. I have in the morning time, sometimes I'll have a split where I'll go for like 3 hours and then I'm off for like 5 hours and then I'll go back and I'll work like another 6 hours. So I had this split, so I decided to go up to town, right? It's a bigger town from where I live. So I go up to Fresno and I was getting food and I hit a couple spots and I decided to swing by this one. And I almost said, never mind. I almost talked myself out of it. And I thought, you know what? I'm already here. I got time. Let me swing in. I pull in and this shelf is full. And first off, I almost had a heart attack because the first thing I saw was a couple of these big tapes. I didn't even notice everything around. I pulled off a couple tapes. I'm like, oh, look at this. I'm looking at it. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, there's another one. And then I'm thinking like, wait a minute, what the fuck? And sorry about the cuss word there. I stand back, Mike, and that's what I'm looking at. And it goes further. It goes all the way to the bottom.
I ended up see if I had any more pictures of it.
Yeah, there might be a wider one that's a little further back.
Why did I save the one with socks and shit? I'm like,
I don't know.
I don't know what I was doing today.
It doesn't matter. I ended up getting 73 tapes, and they were 50 cents a piece. And so it was like $35 for all these tapes, a little like 35 and change. And
couple of these tapes are worth just $35. Well,
dude, Blood Rage is like a $200 tape. My Bloody Valentine's right next to it on that top shelf. Halloween 3, Blood Rage, and My Bloody Valentine. I mean, that right there, I would have been on on cloud 9 just finding that. You know what I mean? And it was an instant collection, dude. Honestly, man, I've never been so nervous because I started making a stack because I couldn't carry them all. So I put them on the ground. And I thought, okay, they got shopping carts. Well, the shopping carts are at the back of the store. So I run to the back like a maniac. I'm running through the store. I get to the back. There's no more carts. Okay. There's an old lady who just walked out of the store with the cart and her car's right there. I rushed out to her cart. I unloaded her cart for her. I was like, hey, ma'am, I'll help you. And I just unloaded it and I just took off with her cart, rushed back, threw everything in the cart. I'm looking around for the hidden camera, Mike. I thought there's no way this is really happening.
Most people don't think what we collect is worth anything. So
I know, but look, there's Zombie 3 there. There's Creepers, Night of the. I think it's just Creeps. I mean,
this is so you. You get these deals. I never get these deals. I get gospel tapes and cowboy tapes, and people leave moldy tapes, but they never leave me awesome like this.
I mean, man, I'll be chasing that high till I die because you don't come across stuff like that anymore. I've had a couple of big things. Like I had a video game score that was, well, it was beyond this. I mean, it was a lot more worth a lot more money, but it was a very cheap deal too. But so they come around, man. But people say, well, you get lucky. I mean, I'm not saying, I guess quote unquote luck doesn't have anything to do with it, but I mean, was it lucky that I got up and I went to town when I could have slept? Was it lucky that I decided to stop at that store instead of, going home? Is it lucky that I get up at 5 a.m. to go to estate sales and swap meets? I don't know. To me, that just seems like I'm making my own luck. You know what I mean?
I know you put in the work. I like to tease you about your finds all the time.
No, I know. I'm not taking it against you or nothing.
Dude, you always send me a picture you're like, I'm out in the desert. I don't know. There's rattlesnakes out here. I'm going through this old garage or this old trailer or whatever. And you're always finding those bangers. And you almost helped me secure, what's that TV I've been wanting?
The NES Sharp TV.
Yes. Oh man. One of these days we're going to get one of those. Well, you got one. I don't have one.
Yeah, I got one for $50.
I'm willing to pay like $4,000 for that.
All right. TV. All right. Quick story on that one. I wish I had a picture of it to show, but, that was my
jerk. There he is.
That was my holy grail at the time was this TV, right? And at this time, I was more into yard sales every day. I mean, not every day, but every weekend. It was just all about that yard sale life. And the night before, you know, the girl I was dating at the time, we were chatting, and she's like, you know, because I was looking at this one on eBay. They had one on eBay for $700, and I just didn't. I could have bought it, but I just didn't really have the money. And she's like, well, you know, like this innocent comment, like, well, maybe we'll find one at a yard sale. And I'm like, you silly fool, you don't find these things at a yard sale, right? So I mean, I'm not kidding you, Mike. It sounds made up, but it's 100% true story. The next morning, we went to this one yard sale. I found like a pink DS, which is kind of uncommon. I thought, oh, you know, it's a good start. This is cool. I had a couple games with it, and
I'd rock it.
Yeah, it was dope. We get to this next yard sale. It was literally the second or third yard sale. It might have been the third. We pull up there, and there's this guy sitting in a chair, and he had a table, and it had a bunch of like Xbox 360 games, and he had Obama phones. Like his mom was pushing Obama phone. That's what we call them in California. They're actually just the free phones that were part of some program President Obama initiated.
Man, I didn't even know about that. I would have got on that.
Yeah, you get free cell phone service. I don't know if that's still a thing, but it was then.
Was he giving out those Operation Blue Line tapes too?
No, he didn't. I don't know. I didn't think about tapes at the time, but so just chatting him up, I was like, you know, I'm looking at his, oh, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You know, because that's how I always approach at yard sales. I always start off friendly. I don't talk about their stuff. I talk about them. How are you doing? How's your day going? You making any money yet? That kind of thing. And so, you know, he's like, oh, yeah, no, you know, whatever he said. So I was like, hey, do you got any old games? He goes, what do you mean old games? I'm like, you know, like Nintendo games, like, you know, old. He goes, you mean like old classic games? You know, I was like, yeah. He goes, yeah, I got a few. I don't really want to sell them. He goes, you know, I got a Nintendo with a TV in it, or I mean, a TV with a Nintendo in it. And I'm like, a TV with a Nintendo, you say? Well, what's that now? And he goes, what? Yeah.
That's it. I'm out of here.
Yeah, right. He's like, yeah, I got a TV with a Nintendo in it. And I'm like,
oh, I'm so jealous. God.
Like, now see, your impulse is, let me buy it, and you start to offer him money, but that's not the way I played it. So I'm just like, oh, well, I mean, I was like, can I see it? And he's like, yeah. I was like, dude, that's awesome. Can I see it? And he's like, yeah, I think so. I don't want to sell it though. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I would just like to look at it. He's like, yeah, okay, come on. So we go to this house. Now, the way this house is set up is like, you open the front door, and then you walk straight across the hall, and there's his bedroom, and the door was open. So I'm following him in, and he's still living with his parents. This guy was like the 40-year-old virgin, still living at home with mom and pop. And I go into his room, and his room's pretty cluttered, but I wasn't focused. I just saw like against the wall, there was a dirty mattress that was on the ground, and against the wall, there was the top of the TV peeking out, and he had pillows on it and all kinds of crap.
Is that how you got the TV? That mattress? You put in a little work?
No, not that. But
we don't put shame in the
judge.
game.
I got you. I'm not.
You know what it takes to get that
whatever it takes. No, so we go over there, and he takes the crap off the top, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, let me just pick this up and move it out of the way. And as I pick it up, I notice. See, there's two things with that TV. Obviously, the TV, right? But they also came with exclusive controllers that are black. And the only way you can get these black controllers is if you bought this TV. They're officially licensed. They say Nintendo on them. They look just like the regular NES controllers, except they're black. And I tug on the cord, and as I'm pulling it up, I'm like, oh, man, it's the black controller, too. So I pick it up, and I'm just going to set it down. And as I turn around is when I start to notice. See, what I thought I was seeing was a bed with brown sheets on it. What I was actually seeing was a bed that was filthy, that had no sheets on it. And when I turned around, I see trash everywhere, and beer bottles, and McDonald's wrappers, and Taco Bell wrappers, and there's like, dude, he had so much old shit. I almost grabbed one of his beer bottles because it was like Bud Dry. They ain't sold Bud Dry since like 1998 or something.
He's still drinking on it, you know?
Dude, I was like, Bud Dry, dude. Okay. So as I turn around, he's like, yeah, I was like, you mind if I just take it to the porch? I take it to the porch and I set it down. Then he started getting tag teamed. His dad opens the garage and brings an extension cord. And I'm like, man, this thing's kind of happening here. He's wanting me to turn it on. So I turn it on. And there's an NES game in it, which was kind of an uncommon NES game. It's one of the Capcom games. It's like one of those Koei games that is like a strategy game. Doesn't matter. It's like a $30, $40 game, right? And I put it in. I push the power button. It's doing the blinking light thing. So now he's trying to sell me on it. Oh, no, it really works, man. It really works. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And his dad's like, yeah, you need to sell it to him. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay. And then, and this is after he told me the story how, like, when he was a little kid, he had saved up all summer cutting lawn to buy it, and he bought it at rent to own, which is like RTO or Rent-A-Center actually. And you know what you do is you can rent TVs or something, but you can also rent to own. So you would pay, let's say you paid them $30 a month, like 15 would go to the price and 15 would go to the rental fee, right? So this kid, a whole year actually, it took him to pay this TV off, and he's had it ever since he was a child. And he walked away for a minute, and I didn't have any cash on me. So I turned to the girl. I was like, hey, you got any money on you? And she goes, yeah. He goes, she's like, I go to the ATM too. I was like, yeah, cool. I was like, what do you, I was like, you think I should start off at 100 or what? She goes, because see, sometimes you need to have someone pull you back a little bit, because the strategy is to offer low and let him pull you up. So where's he going to go from 100? He's going to go to 200 or 300. So she goes, no. What are you doing? Offer him 50. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you're right. So I'm thinking I'm just going to offer him $50 and he's going to counter like, no, 300. And I'm like, here you go. Here's your money. So I'm just like, hey man, would you take $50 for it? He goes, $50? Oh yeah, I'll take it. And then, so I'm
only
like,
you, man, only you.
Dude, I was a little shell shocked. I should have gave him more money, but I honestly, that's actually all I had on me. I did have $50 on me, so I gave him the 50, and I go and I'm carrying it to the car, and I'm starting to put it in the car, and I hear him saying, "Hey man, wait!" And I hear him yelling. I'm like, "Oh shit! Get going.
Floor it!
Get going!"
We got the bag. Secure it.
I see he's coming out, and he has a bag in his hand. And he goes, well, you might as well take these with you. He has me a bag of games. And
oh, my God.
Dude, and there was like River City Ransom in it, which is like a $30, $40 game. And there was even an N64 game that was worth like $75 in it. I'm like, dude, he just paid me to take this TV away.
It's not. I'll never have that happen. I went to a garage sale the other day, and it was nothing. It wasn't even an 8-track player. Couldn't find anything about
but
you.
that's
just
why
trash.
you gotta ask him what's in the house, Mike. That's my tip, man. Always.
In all fairness, you look a lot more normal. Like to ask somebody to come in their home. I go, can I come see your Nintendo? And they're gonna call the cops.
Yeah, maybe that's true.
I brought my horse. You think I would look unassuming? You think
right?
I mean, I got a horse. You think they'd let me in? But I don't know.
You would think, man. But anyways, you want to? Okay, so I got these the other day.
I say we got 30 minutes, so I think we got time to look at some more.
All right, we'll just blast through a couple more tapes, and then I think I have a grand finale here. So so the other day I was looking at OfferUp, and this guy had oh no, I take it back. This guy messaged me on Facebook, and he said, hey, I see that you want to buy tapes. Or maybe it was OfferUp. And he goes, I have some horror tapes. And I'm like, yeah, what do you got? And he goes, have you heard of Killer Clowns? And I'm like, oh, yeah. And he goes, yeah, I got that. And I got a couple other things. Maybe you'll like them. I'm like, okay, cool. And so I was like, send me some pictures. So this is what he sends me. And, this one's a hard print to find. This first print.
That looks awesome, dude.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm definitely interested in that. I mean, tape's immaculate shape. You know what I mean? And then I look at the next picture, and I see this from a distance. I'm like, preview, and you get closer, and it's a damn Killer Clowns fucking like demo tape.
Oh, like a screen?
Yeah. I'm like, dude.
You got the double tuggy.
I'm like, okay. And then look at this preview tape, dude. It even's got the media logo on it.
I love Media's logo.
Nothing like this, dude. This is awesome.
It's sick. It is absolutely sick. I love screeners. It's a little bit of a side hobby of mine.
I know. No, I'm with you, man. I'm not a huge screener guy, but
I
I
love
think
them.
do you? I don't dislike them, but I'm only looking for like I don't want I don't know, like a Top Gun screener or something. I probably wouldn't care about that, but something like this is kind of like a little uncommon. I can't imagine there was a ton of these screeners going out, but
My buddy used to slide me tapes across the counter, and they were always screeners. He'd be like, "You better bring it back,"
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how I got a lot of my movies.
Yeah, but you know what though? My passion is this, dude. So I went to an estate sale, and this is really kind of what I mean, I had been buying them, but I hadn't really hit what I considered like was a grail tape. No, when I say grail, sometimes it's a universal grail, but then there's also personal grails, you know what I mean? And um I go to this estate sale and they had a lot of, like home recording tapes, right? And they're old. You can always tell if it's an older one because they're more heavy, you know what I mean? And you get used, which ones to look for. But it has Empire and Return of the Jedi and Sound of Music and Ewok Adventure. And I saw them and I was like, I'll just grab these things. And it was a 2-day sale. So I was like, well, I'll take them home. I pop them in, man. They're the original broadcast with the commercials. Perfect broadcast, too. They look beautiful.
I'm just turning this down. I'm just having this in the background while you talk here.
That's cool. They look beautiful, man. And what makes it like the next level, this is actually the broadcast that I watch because it's also my local channels. So like when I was a kid, this would have been the NBC broadcast I would have watched, or the ABC.
Well, you're pretty known for your commercial content. Like it's kind of what blew you up. That's the only reason I was showing clips of commercials.
No, dude. Commercials are awesome.
You're like the commercial master. To add too many hats that you wear.
Well, I'm really like, and I want to give a shout out to my friend Derek. I'm going to make a post for him today, but he sent me this. Look at this beautiful tape. It's from 1998. It's a Halloween broadcast of Monster Vision. It's the Friday the 13th marathon with the commercials. Joe Bob Briggs. I mean, he went all out. He even dubbed it on a damn DVD for me. And it's like, thank you, Derek. I don't think you're watching this right now, but I will give you a shout out properly and all the other things later. But yeah, this is pretty cool, man. I dig stuff like this. Here's another one I got recently. The ABC broadcast of Poltergeist from 1986 with the commercials.
With the commercials. Just nonchalantly have the commercials. You're such a bastard. You know that?
Dude, I love it, man. This is the stuff I'm into right now. Like, and the beauty of it is normally they don't think this is worth anything. They just want to throw it away. They're like, they usually just give it to you. And I'm like, dude, this is my favorite things. I'm like Smeagol with the damn ring. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to cradle it and get it out of there. But
shattering lawnmower dreams, 100%. I'd have to mow all summer to achieve what he does.
Well, I think he's talking about that guy. I took his TV.
Dude, that ain't right. That you're not right. You have crossed the line, sir. We're putting you in timeout.
I would tell you though, in all honesty, his name is Jason, and I know Jason will never see this, but like Jason sold it to the right guy. Sorry, I dropped something. Looking all unprofessional there. He sold it to the right guy, a guy who actually cherishes that thing. I cleaned it up. I brought it home. I got it in a nice spot. I love that thing. I went, because the doors are always broken on them. I got 3D printed doors. So it's about as new, it's about as good as it could look. And I try to actually give Jason more money because he told me he thought he had the remote. So I called him a couple of times and I was going to overpay for the remote to kind of compensate him a little bit, but I didn't want him to feel bad about the deal. So like, there's one policy I have, man. I never rub it into people's faces. Like if you were to sell me something that was worth a lot and I knew that, I wouldn't rub it in your face later to try to make you feel foolish. So I felt weird about trying to give him more money. So I wanted to like try to buy something else from him. I was just going to overpay for it. I was just going to be like, here, here's $100 for that remote, or, just because you were cool, or I don't know what I was going to do, but I was going to try to make it right with him. But his Obama phone got turned off and, I can't remember the house. I think I know which one it is. I drive by it and I was like, I think that's the house, but I never see anybody outside, and I don't want to just start randomly knocking on doors.
I
You know,
could
to
see you
get
doing that
shot.
though. I could see
I-
like,
Is Jason here? Where's that remote?
I'm here to relieve. I bet people are dying to give you their stuff though. Like most people want rid of most of this stuff.
That is true.
Mostly because they decided that they wanted lamer things in their life. And they're like, I now want to replace all this cool stuff with really lame stuff like live, laugh, love pictures for their home and
yeah,
all this other sad displays. But you knew where you kept your eye on the ball the whole time.
Well, there was the thing is like some people would have took no for an answer, and at any point, Jason could have told me to get the hell out of my house. You know what I mean? But I was kind with him. I talked to him. I never made him feel bad. Like his house was disgusting. I never, acted inappropriate or I never treated him like nothing but a nice person. And I didn't just do it for his TV because at any point he could have said no, and I would have shook his hand and I would have put the TV back and I would have made him whole. You know what I mean? Like, And like I said, it was just a negotiation tactic to what I offered him. I didn't want to scare him either. I felt like, hey, here's $500, and he might be like, well, what's it worth? So I don't know. Anyways, it worked out. How much time we got left? About 20 minutes, 10 minutes?
We got about 20 minutes, and we can fill it with whatever your heart desires.
Well, here's a tape everybody should have just because not only is it a cool tape, it's just a cool movie. Have you ever seen Chopping Mall?
I have. I've wanted that robot my whole life.
Yeah, I know, man. Somebody definitely watched. I think it's the same guy, right? One of the guys who worked on RoboCop is the guy who directed this, and I think that's true. What's his name?
I have no idea. I did not know that.
Yeah, I think Friday the 13th. It says on the back.
What up, Zombie Reviews? Hey, everybody.
Hey, what's up, man? Anyway, this is a fun movie. I recommend this. If you're looking for, like one of those cool tapes that all the cool kids have, this is cool because it's a good movie, too. Along with this one, too, like the stuff, right? Like, it's not too expensive, but
just
man,
stuff. I'll just go ahead and bring it out of my collection.
You don't have the stuff, Mikey?
I don't have the stuff. Why don't you you don't have the stuff, Mikey? I thought you were a VHS master.
We're going to have to downgrade you to Laserdisc, Mikey, if you don't get your
None of
together.
this matters. You don't have the stuff. You get out of here.
You don't have the stuff? How about this tape? I still haven't watched this one yet. I'm kind of embarrassed that I haven't even put it in, but you got the horror workout?
I don't have the horror workout. See, now you're just jamming popsicle sticks in my side going to say,
I'm going to actually watch this summer because I'm looking to get into my bikini again. And I
actually want to get that movie because I want to add it to my, how I've been wanting to make that workout video.
Yeah, dude. And you got some awesome tapes that I almost bought, that granny tape that you got. What's it again? Or not
Dancing Grannies, man.
Dancing Grannies. Yeah. I almost bought that the other day. I'm
surprised I didn't bring it.
Yeah,
I brought all my other hits, but I didn't bring Dancing Granny just in case. But I don't know why. I always bring it.
All right, so I want to give a shout out to the Video Archives podcast. I don't know if you've listened to this at all, but this is Quentin Tarantino and Roger Avery's podcast. Well, about a few months ago, probably 3 or 4 now, or maybe it's around Christmas time, I think. I was contacted by their producer, which is Gala Avery, which is Roger Avery's daughter, but she's also part of the podcast and she's the producer. They send out these gift boxes. I don't have mine. I mean, it's up there. I can't reach it, but when you open it up, there's like a glass in it. There's some popcorn, some candy. There's some other and a little card. So I'm like, dude, I'm feeling really flattered and honored, you know what I mean? Because I'm a huge Tarantino fan. I love his movies, you know what I mean? I always have, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to his last one, whatever it is. And so I'm like, that's really cool. Well, she lives in LA, and we end up going to these same spots. We go to Whammy, and there's Be Kind Video. So these are these little spots that have popped up in LA, and they're really cool, dude. They're basically like a a VHS store as like if you were going to a game store. They're full of tapes. Whereas Be Kind also rents and does other things. But Whammy's pretty cool because they show movies. I mean, they both got really cool setups. They both got their yin and yang, what makes them cool, right? But there's a sell event coming up, and she's like, hey, I'll be at the sell event. I can't wait to see you, and we'll chat and all that. And I'm just like, dude, this is so cool. So she shows up, and as I was getting because I was a vendor there, and as I'm getting all my tapes ready, I came across a couple of Pulp Fiction tapes, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to ask her to sign one, because she's part of the podcast. Why not? Right. And she can say yes or no. So when I get there, I'm like, hey, we start talking and whatever. And then I was like, hey, I just got a small request, and no big deal if you don't want to, but I was wondering, will you sign this tape for me? And she goes, why would, oh, no, like, she's like embarrassed. I'm like, no, it's cool, because you're part of the podcast and everything. She goes, you know what? I'm going to do one better. We're recording tomorrow. I'm going to ask Quentin to sign it. Yeah. So, here, let me take it out of the thing.
Man, I hate you, dude. You're hobnobbing with Tarantino's staff. They're bringing you fruit baskets and stuff, living the good life. What is getting special TV deals, robbing poor people blind? This man is a savage.
Yeah, so there's Quentin's autograph right there. That's Roger Avery's. There's Gala's. She also wrote another little message right there. And then
wait, she put a heart on there? Was that a heart?
It is.
I don't get hearts. No one sends me hearts. Yes, ladies, man. Anyone that thinks this man lives in his basement, he gets hearts from the Tarantino staff. It ain't even right. It ain't.
So this one's deemed.
I'm done with you, Chris.
This one's deemed a Tarantino cut by Roger Avery. He wrote on that, and he wrote the Tarantino cut. There's also a sister tape to this, because I didn't forget my good friend Bill. He's Midnight is Flashing. He's in there trolling me in the comments. I brought two tapes, so she got them both signed, and Bill's got the Avery cut, and I got the Tarantino cut. So
at least you hooked up your boy Bill. Like he's your boy, and it's good that you threw him a crumb. Here's your crumb, Bill.
Yeah, well, you know what, man? If I would have thought, initially
I'd be excited.
I wasn't gonna tell him. I was just gonna send it to him. I wanted to rub it in his face and be like, "Look what I got," and I know it would just burn his ass. And his has more hearts. Okay, I want it back. No, I was just gonna kind of rub it in his face a little bit. I kind of did on the phone. I told him that I don't know, whatever, that she was gonna do it. And but then I didn't have the heart to keep it going, so I let him know that he was getting one too. And now all of a sudden I've moved up a couple of notches in the friend hierarchy. Before I was just like, this guy he does a podcast with, and now I might be on his Christmas card list. I don't know,
dude. I guarantee you, like I can see Quentin now. He got out, a drink. He's sitting there reflecting on life.
Yeah.
He's thinking of his last film he was going to do. And he's like, you know what? Christmas just doesn't feel complete. I need to give Chris a call.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Well, you never know. But all joking aside though, Gala is super cool. She didn't have to do that. That was so awesome of her. I almost felt weird about even posting it, because I was afraid a lot of people were going to start asking her to.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that. That wouldn't be cool.
She said do it, so I'm like, okay. I asked her, she was cool with it. I told her, I was like, do you want me to post this or not? I don't mind. She goes, yeah, that'd be great. And I was like, okay. I didn't want you to get bombarded with all these requests from, all these thirsty Tarantino hounds looking for some swag, from Mr. Tarantino. But
I've been a thirsty fan. I feel like I am that thirsty fan that be bugging people.
Well, dude, I mean, anyway, I'm excited. I was happy. And I know Bill was already like he said in the comments, he was livid about me getting an archives box, and he's getting one too. And you're on the list too, Mikey. So whenever that next wave goes out, you guys.
Oh, I don't want your petty hand-me-down box. I want her to want to give it from her heart.
Well, that's how I got recommended. Someone recommended me.
I'm just teasing. I would be excited.
I know. I told her, I was like, you gotta you gotta hook up VHS Mikey. He's got a really cool channel, and
I'm sure VHS Mikey is what you talked to Tarantino's assistant about.
That's exactly what I did. I made sure. I was like, I'll send you the screenshot. I made sure to put you guys on there. But yeah, I wasn't gonna put Bill on just to make him saltier, but the crumbs. Yeah, when you guys get your boxes, let's see how much crumbs they are.
I probably got crumbs on my shirt right now. Anyways, I was eating right before the show.
Yeah.
We're probably running towards the end of the show. I was going to show a little bit of the Boogie fight because you're a gamer, and I figured that you would probably have a dog in that fight. But I don't know. I think we're fine with what we're doing now.
Yeah, I don't really, honestly. I never really knew much about his channel. I kind of like late to the game on Boogie. I think he seems like a nice guy. Obviously, he has emotional swings or whatever.
I can relate to that. Hey,
yeah, that's part of his character, right? Francis, I believe. I don't know too much about these YouTubers boxing and all that. I hope. I take it Boogie didn't do too well. Is that what I'm understanding?
He didn't do too well. I think the problem was the other guy trained. Okay.
Yeah.
And then here, I'm just going to bring it up as an image here. The other guy trained. And if you see, he comes out, he's all confident. Let me close Bill's comment here. He comes out all confident, rapping his intro, right? This dude is rapping as he comes in. And
that's never good when the guy's rapping his way to kick your ass.
Yeah. And Boogie comes in. He's like, kind of comes out. And you could tell that it hit him that he has not been training. He has not been, he has not been, putting in the work. He's been drinking. I saw pictures of him with Mountain Dews. And as a person who struggles with that, I was like, Boogie, all right, let me skip ahead here.
You're in trouble, Boogie.
This match
is man, and he's got his shirt off too.
He got his shirt off, Butterbean style.
Wow!
And see the look of death there.
He looks scared.
I related to it because that's me on my first show that I did here on the channel.
Yeah, I really think that's a look of a person who's like it's really sinking in, and he's probably. I mean, how many fights has that man been in his life? You know what I mean?
If I was to guess, none. Like never been punched in the face a single time.
Yeah, there's a famous Mike Tyson quote, right? Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Oh, poor Boogie, that's such a bad look.
And you could tell Wings of Redemption trained. He came out, you could see muscle on him. Yeah. You see form when he boxes. I don't even care about boxing, but I do care about YouTubers punching each other in the mouth. I don't know what it is. It's an addiction of mine. I love YouTubers punching each other in the mouth. And that's why I'm bringing wrestling.
Let me give you some advice, Mikey. If you decide to sign up for this, you better make sure any of those Paul brothers aren't on the other side of the ring. Because if they are, you've lost your mind. Those dudes actually kick ass for real.
I mean, I don't know if my ability to get my ass kicked is really a good boxing skill. I can get beat up really well. But I don't know if that's a good boxing skill, especially when the rounds are like a minute.
I don't know how long they would be for these. I think a standard boxing match is 3 minutes. I could be wrong about that.
And look, Wings, when he comes in, he has an evil red light on him.
Yeah.
Does that look like he's playing?
No. I mean, let's be honest. He's not in great shape either, but he looks serious. And,
dude, I wish I was in Wings of Redemption shape right now. Like, if I could just achieve that, I would be
I'm not trying to body shame the man. I mean, they obviously isn't that the gimmick of the match? Two fat guys fighting each other.
But Wings took the shit serious, and I wanted to see. I bought the shirt. I bought Boogie's shirt, dude. First shirt I ever bought of a YouTuber. I bought Boogie's shirt. And I was so excited because I'm like, this is going to be his chance.
You really thought Boogie had a chance? Well, I don't know. I've never seen Wings before. Oh man, Boogie.
And right there, I thought for a minute, he kicks in. He's like, wait a minute, I'm gonna blast wings. I'm gonna knock him out, right? And I thought just at that little glare that I had hopes that he was gonna win.
Man.
Uh,
So he looks, yeah, he don't know what he's doing.
I can't
No.
even watch it. He just gets, I mean, this is it for a whole minute. He just gets brutalized.
That honestly, that ref, if he had any decency about him, he would have stopped the fight right there. Because right there, you can see that's like a bully fighting a victim.
Dude, it's bad. It's so bad. I don't.
I mean,
like
no
watching it.
judgment on Wings. He didn't do nothing wrong. I'm just
Look,
talking about the
his
optics
face is
on
red.
it.
You can tell he's already can't see.
Yeah, I'm talking about the optics. I mean, he looks bad. His pants are falling down. Oh,
dude,
man.
It gets worse. They stop the match and they tie up his britches.
Oh no.
And I don't know if I have that on here because I was skipping ahead because I didn't want to get dinged,
you want to get copyright striked on his butthole on the TV here.
See, you can see they wrapped him up.
Oh, they duct taped him.
And as a guy who has lost his britches in a fight, I relate, So I was like, okay, I'm Boogie right now. I'm feeling this fight. I'm a guy that can't keep his britches up, and I'm fighting against someone that's gonna immortalize me. So I was hoping with his britches up, he was gonna deliver like an awesome combo.
Okay, so where was this fight at?
Okay, it's not. I think it's the Happy Punch people put it out. Keemstar's crew and all those guys.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with Keem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch any of that stuff, but I've heard the name. I'm assuming this wasn't the only fight on the card. There were other fights.
Yeah, there was like big boxers fighting. Like
real boxers or other YouTubers.
Other YouTubers,
okay.
and I feel like it's its own category at this point. And some of these guys have fought enough where they're starting to get good.
Well, like I mentioned, those Paul brothers. I mean, those guys are legit.
See, took the Mountain Dew right out of the boy right there.
Kid had worked out for a
I've been hit so hard that you don't know what's going on. You're just like,
yeah, he looks like he's seeing stars already.
Yeah, I would call the match right there. But luckily they had the dude lets him get a couple more and he realizes he is just absolutely outclassed. I'm gonna skip ahead because I don't want to get dinged.
Yeah,
but they just call it like it's just over, They throw a couple more punches and that's it. And it just sucks because I wanted Boogie to win. See, I'm a sad fat man at heart. So when I watch Boogie videos, I relate to the character. I relate to the person. I relate to the guy. And for me, he was fighting for me. He was fighting for other sad fat men out there, other sad, funny guys. And
have you ever watched this Wings guy at all?
I've never watched him a single time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming he eats chicken wings, or that's just
I don't know what his gimmick is. I have no prior knowledge of Wings whatsoever.
Okay.
And I'm surprised because when I say I watch every YouTuber, I watch stuff you wouldn't even think I would watch.
Oh yeah, I got you. This is your primary television source. Well, I just say for Boogie, I did watch. I think I shared the link with you. There was this channel that talks about like the rise and fall of various YouTubers, and they did one on Boogie, and it was interesting to kind of see where he came from and the audience that he built up, and he ended up getting a wife, and then of course the fall part, losing the wife, getting in financial trouble, and things like that. You kind of feel for somebody when they finally get everything they wanted, and then it's almost like it would have been better if he never had it, almost. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like that's why he took this fight too. He was having financial problems, and I don't think he trained. I know he didn't train because I watch other YouTube channels, and on other YouTube channels, he was doing interviews all the time. I saw him on like 10 different shows. And I know the day of an interview, you were not running to the gym. You're like trying to get to your microphone, get your headset on.
He looked winded. I mean, it's obvious he didn't train. I mean, he looked winded from the get-go. And where the other guy was actually throwing punches, all he was doing was absorbing them. So it's kind of sad because somebody failed him. I mean, where's his support system? Like, nobody said, listen, guy, let's at least teach you how to block a punch. because that's all he's doing. I mean, he's just covering up. I mean,
it sucks to see. I hate to see it. It breaks my damn heart. Like, Boogie, I was in your corner. I bought your shirt. I didn't think he was going to win, but I thought he would at least throw a punch.
Yeah, you know, he got one off. Well, let's hope he at least got a good payday out of it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I imagine
I would hope so, because man, if you didn't get a nice payday out of that,
Boogie, if you're watching, you're fine. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure Boogie's on the VHS guys channel.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to get distracted by that, but like,
okay.
It's been on my mind.
To talk about it a little bit. That's cool.
It's been on my mind the whole day, like just because my personal journey with depression and weight loss issues, and being a funny guy that wants to entertain everybody, but maybe my jokes fail sometimes. I don't know. I had a dog in this fight, and my dog lost, and it sucks. Is this what sports fans feel like?
This is what sports fans feel like. Hey, but I mean, hey, my dog won last night. I'm a Lakers fan. Have been since I was a little child. So I was happy.
You don't lose though, so that makes sense.
Guess not. I don't know.
I'm taking you to the casino.
I like it. Let's go play some craps. I'll meet you in Vegas. I love playing craps.
I would love to go to Vegas. I think that'd be a great time. Me and you in Vegas.
I'm not joking. Hey, this summer I'm off for a while. Let's go to Vegas.
I'm in, man. At least I can do it. I can just jump on a plane and zip on down.
Jump on a plane, man. Let's go. Let's do it. We get some rooms.
And I'm plane weight right now. I can get on a plane again.
Best time to do it, man. We'll go. We'll shoot some craps. Have some adult beverages. Go look around. Who knows?
I learned
Who knows what trouble we can get into.
I learned to play blackjack from Fallout New Vegas.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Is there anything before we close out here? We're at a 2-hour mark, but before we close out here, is there anything you want to plug?
Well, no, I mean, just listen to, if you can, if you want, subscribe to that Midnight is Flashing channel. We do a kind of a live pickup show, sort of, or, VHS discussion is a better way to put it. We'll talk about some of the tapes we got. We, kind of like what we just did right here. We have a very similar format. So check that out. We also, me and another friend, Duke, who was in the comments early on in this, we do a podcast called Retro Nonsense. So that kind of talks about different retro topics. So if you want to check them out, you can check out Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all those little things. I'm on them. So you look me up. Different names for different ones. It's either CWR2 or Planet of the Tapes.
Both hugely successful. I'll be waiting on my fruit basket, okay?
Yeah, right on.
All right, man.
You, man. You're doing great, dude. I'm really happy for you, man.
I don't get free stuff.
Dude, you're doing great, man. I love your set, and your channel's good. You sound great. Great lighting. Doing better.
I'm getting some smoke while you're pumping me up, man.
Yeah, you got to get smoke.
But thank you, Chris, for coming. It has been a great time as usual. It's just like being on the phone with you, except for I'm probably not trying to do 5-6 things and getting more distracted.
Except I'm not at the In-N-Out drive-through or walking into Chick-fil-A when I call you.
You always order food and call me.
I don't know how that happens. I'm always like, hold on, Mikey. Yeah, give me I want one of them chicken sandwiches.
He's always, I don't care. He won't order food until he calls me. But thanks, Chris, for coming by. We're going to close it out. Later, everybody.
I just did a big man queef on Mike's pillow.